Charles, I would love to start with Lace, which is the light wallet platform. Can you tell us about that and what are the goals for the Lace wallet?
Sure, we're really excited about this product. We've been core protocol developers for a long time, and we've done Cardano, we've done work in Ethereum Classic, we do work in Horizon, and all across the board. We've understood a lot through that practice of what is required to construct a protocol, what is required to make it secure, what is required to do that deep engineering work. So one area that we've had to, as a result of that work, get involved in is the wallet space. And so we created Daedalus, but Daedalus is a reference. It's not meant to be commercialized. It's just meant to be a representation of the minimum viable functionality for an ecosystem. And then what we always assumed was that a rich wallet ecosystem would start forming around Cardano. And it did. There's Yoroi, there's Flint Wallet, there's Typhoon, there's Nami, et cetera, et cetera. And it's gotten to a point where there's enough diversity there that it justifies the existence of some new, exciting, innovative things that are actually commercial, not reference. And by being commercial, that means that they're feature rich and they do lots of cool stuff. And there's all kinds of ways that you can partner with people to bring mutual benefit. So about a year ago, we decided to start the Lace project, where we kind of asked what would be required for a next generation wallet. So it has to be lightweight, it has to be fast, it has to be highly usable, but also it has to innovate. It has to bring new things to the table. So in addition to all the things you would expect, like having the capacity to vote and delegate and store your money and easy to back up and hardware wallet support and so forth, we wanted to do two particular things and bring them into the space and get them really excited. One, we wanted to say, can we reimagine the security model? Right now it's light wallet, full node. Full node, super expensive, super heavy. You're basically running a database, a server, and a lot of other infrastructure on your computer. You can't really do that well on a laptop and most desktop computers, and you don't get a good user experience. That's why a lot of people say Daedalus is slow or it takes a long time for Daedalus to sync. That's a universal problem amongst all full nodes. It doesn't matter if you're in the Zcash ecosystem to Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's just how those wallets work. Now, the advantage is they have great security. You don't trust anybody. When you get a transaction, you're in a position where you can know with certainty that that transaction is completely right. When you look at a light client, they're very lightweight by design, which means they work on a cell phone, they work in a browser. The problem is the security model does involve trusting a third party to a certain extent. So we said, could we have something that's like a full node, but it has the light client experience? So this required the invention of a new protocol called Mithril, and we spent now about a year working on that protocol, and we've got it to a point where it's almost ready for prime time. And Lace, we believe, is going to be the first Mithril-enabled wallet. So as it goes through beta, we have to get a lot of things cleaned up, but then next year it'll be enabled with Mithril, and that effectively means it's as if you're running a full node in terms of security, but you get the performance and the user experience with a browser wallet or a light client. So that's really cool and that's really exciting, and it's something we hope that can spread throughout the entire Cardano ecosystem. And every Cardano wallet eventually supports that technology, and we're happy to be the first mover there. The second thing we really looked carefully at was this idea of an identity-first wallet. So we have this great product called Atala Prism. It has about 7 million customers, and those customers are doing some great things. But basically, it's a DID standard identity framework. And what's so cool about that is that you can start talking around how does identity operate on the cryptocurrency space?
Yeah.
So how does that fit into dApps? How does that fit into wallets? And why do you care? Well, you go from sending to a pseudonymous address to a human readable address. So you send to Charles, not a pseudonym. You send to Bob, you send to Alice, these types of things. You have friends, you have secure communication channels. Eventually, you can talk about higher order things like estate planning considerations. A great example would be, what if you die? What happens to your crypto? Well, using smart contracts and identity, it's very easy to create sweep accounts where if you don't have a proof of life, a dead man switch, something you're doing like decrypting your wallet every 120 days or something like that, it gets swept to a custodian, and then there's a recovery process. So if you lose access to your wallet or you die, you have this means to basically recover it. Alongside a whole bunch of other things like enterprise wallets. How do you do an organization where you have 500 employees and you want to give each and every one of them a spending policy and do that type of orchestration and so forth. So the integration of Prism into Lace, it'll take some time to do that, but step by step, each step of the way, it'll add new capabilities and functionality. And you can start talking about all just kinds of cool stuff, just like what I mentioned, in addition to how do you add the regulated space into this? Like, for example, some offerings like ISPOs, they say, well, we can only allow non-US citizens to participate. Or if you want to create an exchange account, you have to go through KYC ML. If you go through KYC with a DID, for supporting exchanges, what you'd be able to do is one-click creation of an account with an exchange, just start trading, and you don't actually have to go through KYC for each exchange, for example. So these are kinds of things that we're really excited to explore in the space. And in addition to a dApp store that we think is going to be best in class. And there we're really pushing deeply into the certified software space. So we have this problem of how do I know a dApp works? How do I know a dApp is functional and secure? How do I know a dApp's not fraudulent? How do I know it's really Charles's dApp versus a scammer's dApp? I mean, look at Twitter with the bots. It's pretty pervasive. So what if you had a certification standard and you visually represent certified software differently? And part of the certification process is answering all those questions. So our dApp store that we're deploying with Lace, which will be in beta this year and launched next year, that dApp store is going to actually be able to visually represent certified dApps differently from uncertified dApps. So as a user of software in the Cardano ecosystem, we can start differentiating the things that where people did their homework and there's a higher probability of security and reliability and honesty from other things. So that's kind of an ecosystem play. Spaces for DEXs to play, spaces for NFT stores to play, identity first, and being able to integrate that and make it much more usable so grandma can finally use the wallet securely and safely. And then also being able to maintain our reputation as a protocol developer, meaning that we can roll our own crypto. We actually understand security at a very deep level, and we understand reliability and performance at a deep level. So very high level of software quality, and being able to lead and take the space with us. Everything that we do in Lace, we'd like to turn it into an open standard for wallet certification. And then what we'd like to do is try to use Catalyst so that other wallet developers can actually get paid to get certified to meet those standards, so that across the board, everybody in the Cardano ecosystem enjoys the same level of security, regardless of the commercial experience that they choose. So this is a way where we can kind of work with the industry and learn by doing. And our hope is that eventually it's going to result in a situation where everybody in the industry, at least in the Cardano space, does well. Now, the other cool part about Lace is also that we're planning on a self-serve backend where we can make it easy for third-party cryptocurrencies, whether it be Algorand or Tezos or Polkadot, to integrate against it, similar to how people integrate with Rosetta and Coinbase. And then if they can do that, it means it's very easy for us to support new cryptocurrencies. So our long-term vision is for Lace to be a platform for all cryptocurrencies, not just Cardano. Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll do Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll partner with lots of people and find ways to bring them in to do that. And then my hope is eventually to have hundreds of cryptocurrencies supported and native assets, ERC20 assets and other things supported in the Lace platform. And then every single one of them will enjoy that same quality of security, performance, reliability, and hopefully we can create some cross-industry standards about these things, especially for interoperability.